So if you thought the last chapter ripped off Half-Life 2 a little too much, then, well, you're going to either really enjoy or absolutely loathe this chapter right here. So buckle up, I guess.
Jonathan, my husband, is the leader of our congregation. There aren't many of us left. There's a creature in the mines. Early on, it took whole families. We tried to fight it, but we lost 100 folks in the first month. We're more careful now.
Tell me more about this creature.
That guy's playing a
Comes up
flute
here
made out of a chimeran
Satan
skull.
himself. It's infected most of the town. Turned them into Grims. And worse. We build walls to keep them out, but they just break through. Jonathan tells us all this is God's way of testing our faith, like Job in the good book. We do our best. We fight, we pray, but sometimes there is so much sadness, and sickness, and death.
Why don't you just leave?
Leave? No, sir. This is our land, given to us by God. If we're meant to die here, so be it.
Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. The Lord's vengeance.
A few months back, a group of folks lost their faith and decided to leave us. They made it half a mile outside town. They're with God now. Bless their souls. When Jonathan left, he said that if he saw the creature, he was going to try to kill it. I love my husband, but he's no fighter. Not like you.
That map shows off the area that we'll be going to.
I prayed for you to come. I believe Jonathan is still alive out there. And I believe that God sent you here to go and find him. Please, help us.
Joseph, we need that train. We must find this man who can fix it. Be careful.
May God be with you.
Alright, so leeches are grims that have sort of reached the end of their life cycles. They don't have cooling systems, so eventually their body does overheat and, I don't know, I guess bacteria starts to build up, and as it does so, their body gets filled with gross exploding pus. And so as a grim reaches the end of its life cycle, it turns into a leech. You shoot a leech, and as soon as it takes enough damage, it'll fall down and become basically an exploding trap. Also, welcome to Ravenholm. For those of you who have played Half-Life 2, you know instantly what I'm talking about. This area is basically Ravenholm, but without the traps, so it's a lot less interesting. I guess the leeches are sort of organic traps, but it's not as exciting. For those of you who have not played Half-Life 2, one of the... all two of you who have not played Half-Life 2, one of the most, I guess, exciting, engaging, horrifying levels of Half-Life 2 was the Ravenholm level, which was a town that had been taken over by headcrab zombies. So you enter this sort of residential area, and it's filled with all these creepy traps and boarded up walkways, and there's just creepy zombies and little scuttling headcrab monsters all over the place. So Resistance 3 is basically copy this wholesale. This little village is filled with grims and leeches and leapers. Unfortunately, the grims and the leeches and the leapers aren't actually as exciting to combat as the creatures in Half-Life 2. Really, yeah. What you're seeing right now is really what combat is going to boil down to. Grims are going to run at me, and I'm going to want to take them down as soon as possible. And leeches will explode if they get close to me, so I'm going to try and kill them before they get to me and turn them into traps to take out grims. Occasionally some leapers will pop out, but they're effectively harmless. One thing to note in this area is that every Grim pod you see can become an enemy. So if you see one and it hasn't hatched, destroy it. Because odds are the moment you leave that building, it will hatch and it will chase after you. You know, now that I think about it, it's not just Half-Life 2. This section right here feels a lot like Left 4 Dead. I mean, it's fine enough for what it is, but I feel like Resistance 3 is borrowing from so many other sources that it feels less like its own thing, and I don't know, just sort of a shallow parody of many other things. So if you're keeping track of where I am in the village, I actually really haven't gone anywhere. I've just sort of checked out some of the dilapidated buildings around here. I've been clearing out the grims and picking up ammunition and health grenades. But I haven't actually made it any closer to my objective, which is to ostensibly find that woman's husband or the creature and kill it. Note, if you missed it earlier, the people of this little hamlet do call the strange chimeran creature that lives underground Satan. Also, to be honest, wiping out grims and leeches in this area is providing me a great opportunity to level up some of my guns, especially the shotgun. I'm heading in the right direction now. If you're just following this LP to get through the game, then get on the roofs and the catwalks as soon as possible. That is a church bell we hear in the background. We are currently inside of a church. Alright, that right there is our first glimpse of the Chimeran monstrosity that we will find underground. That was indeed Satan. There is a intel document that sort of shows Satan's first attack. He sort of pops out in a church. It may have been this very church too, and attacks the whole congregation that was here. But I'll throw that intel document in the thread, so if you want to take a look at it, it's there. I've been largely ignoring the leaper pods throughout the village, but the ones up here in the attic of the church, they actually will pop out and attack you, so I start shooting them now. Unfortunately, I've used up, well, most of my ammo on killing Grims earlier in the level, so I unfortunately need to be using ammunition I don't want to use to wipe out the Leapers that I find. Ugh. Yeah, I'm just gonna zip past and get through here. There we go. Just picked up a bunch of Rossmore ammo. Alright, so this is the last part of the village. I need to find my way to the power plant, which you may have saw on that map when we were in the little human resistance pocket right at the beginning of the level. Nothing new is going to bug me here. It's going to be more Leapers, more Grims, and more Leeches. Something that I do notice in rewatching this video is that Insomniac had no problem recording Capelli grunting in pain as he was attacked or as he jumped to avoid Grims. So it makes the lack of Capelli cursing or talking during gameplay seem, I don't know, even more obvious. Oh, shoot. Ah! Back on the floor. That set me back a bit. I'm also really starting to run low on ammunition for guns that I want to use for this particular situation. So thank goodness the back of that pickup truck was just full of shotgun ammunition. I've been lollygagging around the level a bit too much, and I think I've picked up most of the health packs in the area, so... right now things are a little tense for me, but... looks like the mine is up ahead, so... I may be able to sneak into the power plant and just avoid getting killed up here. Okay, we're good. Oh god, there's so many leaper eggs. Right, found the door, so I'm just gonna skip this section. I don't mind, I'll take some damage. Alright, and I'm free. And like that, I don't have to worry about all the leapers that were in those rooms.
bastard! Good shoot. Now break it into pieces. Use the freeze gun and turn them into ice.
So this gun is legitimately cool and unique. It's probably the most interesting gun we've found so far.
I thought we were dead men. My name's Jonathan. Folks call me Father Jonathan, as I'm a man of God. Put here to spread his word. I'm on my way to kill that creature in the mines. I ain't going back till it's dead. This used to be one of the biggest coal processing plants in Pennsylvania. Worked here 12 years before the Chimera came. Then the creature showed up. Killed off most of the town. I told my wife I was gonna try and kill it if I could. With your help, I think our chances are pretty good.
So two things. One, the cryogun's pretty awesome. Standard fire freezes enemies. Second fire blasts a wave of compressed air, shatters anything that's frozen.
That's where the creature lives, deep in the coal shaft.
Two,
When the Chimera first came, it was hard to keep focused.
this guy right here, Jonathan Rose.
I'm not gonna lie. My own faith was tested a time or two. These are dark times, friend. Our town needs to get back on its feet. Getting rid of that creature is the first step.
So anyone who's played Half-Life 2
Let's check the break.
and has played the Ravenholm level may remember that at some point in the creepy zombie-infested suburbs, you found this weird sort of pastor guy, Father Grigori. And of course, Resistance 3, they are wholesale ripping off Ravenholm at this point. We have
Come on, this way.
Father Rose. He's way less interesting than Father Grigori. He does run around with a shotgun. He does help you kill off things, but he's just sort of a normal guy. He's, like I say, way interesting. He does have a health bar, as you may see, so this is kind of an escort mission. So again, already we're losing points for that. It's not a lot of fun. Fortunately, it's easier to defend him than it was to defend Charlie in the previous missions. The Grims are simply way easier to kill, and with the cryo gun here, it's going to make it pretty easy to stop them before they get to Jonathan Rose. Also, because this is the first section where we've got the cryo gun, we're going to find a lot of ammunition for it. So, feel free to burn off cryo gun ammo.
Almost done. Just a few more seconds. Got it. There's one more fuse box on the ground floor. Come on. Rest in peace. Follow me. Let's get to that other fuse. Ah, this one looks tricky. I'll work as fast as I can. Thanks. I think I'm onto something here. Oh, I see. This goes here.
appreciate that dancing leg there. Reminds me of Killzone physics. So anyways, I don't know. Between the wholesale Ravenholm light knockoff and our Father Grigori light knockoff, this was the part of Resistance 3 where I lost a lot of faith in the game, to be honest. I was really disappointed.
God is with us, friend. He's gonna help us kill this son of a bitch. It's close. It knows we're coming for it. I should warn you, this thing is one mean son of a gun. A group of our best hunters came down here a while back. 12 men, well armed, knew these mines better than me. One of them made it out alive. One. Damn thing took his left arm and half his left leg. He counts himself lucky. Mines have been locked up for months. Keys are lost. Take a look at that storage room over there. See if you can find anything that might help us get through these doors.
I just feel like between the whole Ratchet Clank series, Resistance 1, Resistance 2, Insomniac is better than this. I just feel like we're doing Half-Life 2 by way of Court McCarthy's The Road. Maybe it's just me, but, yeah. At this point, Resistance 3, I feel like it's letting me down. Anyways, back to Resistance 3 ripping off Half-Life 2. If you've played Half-Life 2, you may remember the Antline Caves, where the Antline Guardians sort of chased you around, and it could basically kill you in a few hits, so you had to sort of like duck and cover and hide in smaller tunnels so that it couldn't kill you. You need to flee when it came after you. Well, the Satan creature that we're chasing, it's going to behave a lot like the Antline Guardians. Believe it or not. At this point, you may totally be expecting that. But, yeah, effectively, the Chimeran Satan is an Antline Guardian from Half-Life 2. We still have to make our way to it with these acetylene tanks, but we'll get there.
Close. Whoa there. That was a close one. Keep moving. Try to keep quiet.
Hey, it's Satan.
We heard it. Now it's angry. Next time won't be so easy. Come on, let's keep on it. Can't let it get away.
So here we go. This is where things really start to feel like the Antline Caves in Half-Life 2. Satan's going to be able to run through these main caverns, but it's too big to go into the small caverns, so...
Thanks. We might just have a chance to beat this thing. Come on.
Once it starts chasing us, we need to duck inside those. Oh, follow Jonathan. Yeah. And just like in Half-Life 2, it's not going to be able to reach us, and it'll sort of claw at the entrance, so we sort of just go around and sneak behind it and keep moving forward. Not to belabor the point, but this is almost exactly the same gameplay that was present in Half-Life 2 Episode 2.
Run! Keep running! Faster! Don't stop! It's trapped. The opening's too small for you. I told you God was with us. Come on, before it finds a way around. Thank you, friend. We've got to get out of this cavern. Find a smaller tunnel. Come on. It's here. Quick, into the tunnel. Quick, open up this door before it digs its way any further.
So, question. Those of you watching this video, has anyone ever watched the movie Jaws? Why do you ask, Blind Sally? No reason. No reason. Just, wondered if you'd ever, seen the movie Jaws. Classic movie, Steven Spielberg. But a giant monstrous creature that terrorizes a small town. Well, I asked because I wasn't really expecting Resistance 3 to go this route, but of all the references, of all the properties that Resistance could have copied, Insomniac decided to choose Jaws. So we toss the tank in his mouth, we take aim and fire. Oh, never mind. I thought it would die right there, but just ran away. We scared it, that's all. But that was the ending of Jaws. Almost beat for beat. I mean, we were in the ocean, but come on. That was Jaws. Here we are once again in a large tunnel opening with some side tunnels. 3 guesses as to what giant chimeran monster we're going to fight. It's Satan. I shouldn't have ran out of the tunnel right there because I died, but Alright, there we go. I'm ready for it this time. So as it closes that doorway, we run to the next one. And we slowly make our way up the tunnel. Again, this is right out of Half-Life 2, Episode 2. Well, this section right here, this, of all things, I mean, if we're going to keep on with the Steven Spielberg references with Jaws, this is, what, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom? So basically, Satan will continue to close in on you unless you shoot it in the eyes to slow it down. So shoot at it, it'll slow down, and you'll keep moving along the minecart track. It's okay, now it's stuck in a hole, and there's acetylene tanks nearby. So we really, this time, for sure, for real, we get to pull off the ending of Jaws. Just need to find the tanks. Wherever... There they are. Okay. So stick the tank in its mouth. Oh, didn't work. Didn't work. Alright, we all know how Insomniac love really gamifying encounters, so we've blown up 2 acetylene tanks in its mouth. 3rd time's the charm. Oh, shoot. So stun him, get the tank in his mouth, take aim. Yeah! There we go. That's the ending to Jaws. 3rd time's the charm. Resistance 3. Jaws. Half-Life 2, Episode 2. Temple of Doom.
Get you straight through to New York. Do us one more favor, will you?
Yeah.
Of course. Pray for us.
We got the train. It's good, right? To go to New York. Train. Like train levels. Train levels rock.